Is Heaven Hill getting back on track with the new Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B525? Stick around to find out. All right, welcome back or welcome to the channel. If this is your first time checking in here, my name is Austin, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B525. Now, if anybody knows me personally or through watching the channel, you know that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is my go-to. It's my bread and butter, specifically pirate bottles, which I think everyone knows how great those are now. And then the 17s through 20s were some of my favorite batches. After the 20s, the 21s really fell off for me. The 22s wasn't a huge fan of. C923 was a monster batch and everybody got excited when that came out, and for good reason. It was a monster batch. Other than C923, I really haven't been into or pursuing or purchasing the newer batches just because they have tasted youthy, more peanut forward, more toffee forward, and they've lost kind of the dark, rich, extra aged goodness that is, you know, the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof of the past. So I tried this in a no dub blind with RJ recently, and well, I was impressed by it. So let's get into it. Now. Oh man, this smells like maybe a good 2020 batch. It's darker, chocolate, vanilla. There's a little bit of that toffee note of the newer releases, but it's pretty faint. And this is coming in at 63.1%, so 126.2, and it's 11 years, 6 months. The big gripe when Elijah Craig Barrel Proof changed the age statements from, well, I guess Heaven Hill did it, but the ECBP batches went from just always a 12-year age statement to specific years and months. Now this says 11 years, 6 months, but it smells similar to like the 12-year stuff. So I'd venture to say that there's probably a good amount of older stuff in this as well. Obviously they have to put the youngest distillate that makes it into the batch. So the youngest being 11 years, 6 months. Yeah, there's a good standard vanilla note coming through on here. Maybe the faintest pancake syrup, and I got that like big time on B520 maple syrup, and then it pops up in other batches too. Like I said, that like 17 to 20 year releases. Okay, let's see how it tastes. Man, for the 126 proof, it drinks much warmer than that. It's full of flavor. Light pancake syrup, definitely chocolate, definitely vanilla. On the finish, there's a nice barrel spice on it. Man, this is definitely a better batch of the last few years. I had the A125 when I was in Kentucky back in March and was really let down. It was thin, it was toffee, it was peanutty, just kind of a shell of its former self. I really think this might be getting back to kind of the glory days of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Second sip, starting to taste a little bit more peanut forward, which isn't my favorite note on these, but nowhere near the earlier batches from the last couple years, or nowhere near like the private barrel picks of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I don't tend to be a big fan of. They're just very peanut forward. This has just a little bit of it, but man, it feels like we're getting back on track with the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof for sure. Yeah, and on like the mid palate, there's this grittiness texture, which I really, really enjoy. I'd say maybe it's a little bit drying, but that's okay. It just makes me want to go back for more. Maybe the tiniest bit of red fruit, not a lot. Maybe just a little bit in there. It's definitely faint and kind of nuanced if it is in there. Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is just, it's a really good Elijah Craig barrel proof batch. I think if I had to compare it to one of my preferred years, I think maybe a good 2020 batch, maybe like B520, or maybe even like a C920. C920 I really liked. I did an entire Elijah Craig barrel proof tournament early on in the channel, so if you go back and check that out, editing, background music, lighting, everything was not where it's at right now. Not saying that it's perfect right now by any means, but it was definitely, we've improved since then. But if you want to see how I ranked the other Elijah Craig barrel proofs, you can go check that out. I blinded ranked each year with a different guest, and then did the semifinals, and then did the finals. Kind of a fun watch, but definitely a different standard, being it was very, very early on in the channel. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. This is just, it's really nice. It's really pleasant. I'm very happy that we're getting back to the good stuff with the Elijah Craig barrel proof batches. If you want to see how this matches up to the monster that was C923, RJ and I did a no dub blind episode. I'm not sure when that's going to come out. Hopefully pretty soon. I'm behind on 13 to 15 videos as of right now. I've recorded a bunch of stuff, and it's just editing and getting them out. I think what I'm going to start doing is, as they get edited, I'm just going to upload and release. So there might be days where I upload a couple times a day, or there might be multiple days in a row where I'm uploading, and then there might be a week where there's only one video or so that makes it out. Just with a newborn and a toddler and a full-time job, it makes consistency a little bit more difficult. But you know, I think going forward, I'm just gonna, as they get done, I'm just gonna release them. So I'm hoping that I can catch up and get the C923 versus B525 episode out pretty soon, since this has just been released within the last couple months. But that's where I am leaving this. I'm gonna record maybe another episode or two tonight, and just keep plugging away. So as always, bourbon experience, a lot good pours and great times with ever with. Whiskey meant to be enjoyed, so crack those balls. Cheers. Yeah, that baking spice kind of in a creaminess vanilla custard is starting to come through more and more. This one's great. Should be available. You should be able to find it. I would not sleep on this batch.